Hi, I'm Sarah, a 28-year-old graphic designer who loves being creative, and I'm also expecting a baby. Right now, I'm standing in my living room, surrounded by yellow and green decorations. My best friend Emily is up on a ladder, hanging the last of the welcome baby banners. Emily, you're a lifesaver, I say, rubbing my big belly. I don't know how I would have pulled off this gender-neutral baby shower without you. She smiles down at me. That's what best friends are for, Mama. Plus, I love driving your mother-in-law crazy with all this yellow and green. I can't help but laugh. Oh, don't remind me. Linda's been texting me non-stop about the baby's gender. If she sends me one more old wives' tale about how to tell if it's a boy or girl, I'm going to lose it. Just then, my phone buzzes. Speak of the devil, is that her again? Emily asks as she climbs down the ladder. I nod and show her the screen. She wants to know if I'm craving salty or sweet foods. Apparently, that's a foolproof way to tell the baby's gender. Emily rolls her eyes. I swear, that woman needs a hobby. Tell me about it, I say, putting my phone down. Mark's trying to keep her calm, but you know how she is. As if on cue, my husband Mark walks in, looking a bit stressed. Hey, babe, the nursery's all set up. My dad's bringing over the last of the furniture later. Thanks, hun. How's your mom handling all of this? He runs a hand through his hair. Well, she's persistent, but don't worry, I've told her 100 times we're keeping it a surprise. Good luck with that, Emily says with a smirk. Just then, the doorbell rings. It's my parents, Robert and Carol, their arms full of gifts and snacks for the shower. Oh, sweetie, the place looks wonderful, Robert says, putting down the boxes with a big smile. Your mother's right, you've done a great job, kiddo. As we're chatting, Mark's phone starts ringing. He looks at it and sighs. It's Mom again. I better take this, Mark says as he steps out, trying to calm Linda down. Emily comes over to me with a grin. $10 says she's trying to get him to spill the beans about the baby's gender. I shake my head. No bet, that's a sure loss. As the day goes on, more friends and family arrive to help set up. The house is filled with excitement, but I can't shake the feeling that Linda is up to something. Every time Mark's phone rings, I get a little more nervous. Later that evening, while Mark and I are getting ready for bed, I decide to bring it up. Hun, is your mom okay? She seems extra intense about the gender thing. Mark sighs and pulls me close. You know how she is, she just wants to be involved. But don't worry, I've got it under control. I nod, trying to believe him, but as I drift off to sleep, I can't help but wonder what Linda might have planned for the baby shower tomorrow. The morning of the shower, I wake up feeling both excited and nervous. As I'm getting ready, Mark walks in, looking anxious. Hey, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. He runs a hand through his hair. I just got off the phone with my mom. She's acting strange, stranger than usual. She kept talking about having a big surprise for us. I don't like the sound of that, I say, trying to brush it off but feeling uneasy. As guests start arriving, I push my worries aside and focus on enjoying the party. This spread looks amazing, Sarah, my friend Rachel says, eyeing the buffet. Thanks, Emily really outdid herself with the planning, I reply. Just then, Emily rushes over, looking flustered. Sarah, we've got a problem. The cake decorator mixed up our order. The cake says it's a boy. What? No, this can't be happening. Don't worry, I've got a plan, Emily assures me. We'll just scrape off the boy part and replace it with baby. Crisis averted. As we're fixing the cake issue, the doorbell rings. Mark goes to answer it, and I hear his shocked voice. Mom, what's all this? I turn to see Linda barging in, followed by a small group of people I didn't recognize. She was holding a bunch of blue balloons, and a man in a white coat stood beside her. Surprise, darling, Linda sang out. I've brought the party to you. What's going on, Linda? I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. Well, since you two are being so stubborn about keeping the gender a secret, I decided to take matters into my own hands. Everyone, I'd like you to meet Dr. Thompson, a sonogram expert extraordinaire, she announced, gesturing to the man in the white coat, who gave an awkward wave. Mom, what are you doing? Mark hissed, clearly upset. I'm revealing the truth. Dear, it's a boy, and I have proof, Linda declared, pulling out a folder and waving it around. I have the latest sonogram pictures right here. Dr. Thompson will examine them and confirm what I already know. I felt my face flush with anger and embarrassment. Linda, that's enough. This is our baby, our choice. You have no right. Oh, pish posh, Linda interrupted. I'm the grandmother. I have every right to know. Emily quickly stepped in, trying to calm things down. Hey, everyone, why don't we move on to some fun baby shower games? I've got a great one where we guess the baby's birthday. But Linda wasn't having it. She marched over to Dr. Thompson and shoved the folder into his hands. Go on, doctor, tell them what you see. The poor man looked terrified. I'm not sure I should. Of course, you should, Linda insisted. I paid you good money for this. The room gasped, and Mark's face turned pale. You did what? Linda realized her mistake too late. Oh, fine. Yes, I paid him, and I've been talking to your obstetrician too. Sarah, trying to get the truth out of her, but she wouldn't budge, even when I offered her a very generous donation. I felt sick to my stomach. You tried to bribe my doctor. Linda, that's illegal. The room erupted into chaos as Mark started arguing with his mother. How could you do this? Mom, this is a complete violation of our privacy. I was just trying to help. You two are being ridiculous with all this secrecy. I can't take it anymore. Linda shot back. Overwhelmed, I stormed out of the room and locked myself in the nursery. As I sat there, surrounded by the soft yellows and greens we had chosen, I could still hear the commotion continuing outside. This was supposed to be a happy day, but it turned into a complete nightmare. It's been 3 days since the baby shower disaster, and I'm still shaken. I'm sitting at our kitchen table, staring at my phone when Mark walks in. How are you holding up, babe? Honestly, I feel awful. Your mom violated our privacy, possibly broke the law, and ruined what was supposed to be a special day. Mark sighs, running his hands through his hair. I know, and I'm so sorry. I've been trying to talk to her, but she's just not listening. Just then, my phone buzzes. It's Emily. Hey, what's up? Sarah, you're not going to believe this. Remember that Dr. Thompson from the shower? I did some digging. He's not a doctor at all. He's an actor Linda hired. I nearly dropped my phone. Are you serious? How did you find out? I recognized him from a local theater production. I called the theater, and they confirmed it. His real name is Steve Daniels. I relay the information to Mark, and his face turns red with anger. That's it. I'm calling my mom right now. He puts the phone on speaker as Linda answers. Hello, dear. Have you come to your senses about the gender reveal yet? Cut the crap. Mom, we know about the fake doctor. How could you do this? There's a pause before Linda responds, her voice defiant. I did what I had to do. You two were being ridiculous with all this secrecy. I can't hold back anymore. Linda, you had no right. You violated our privacy and potentially broke the law. Oh, please. I'm the grandmother. I have every right to know about my grandchild. Mark's voice is ice cold. No, Mom, you don't. And until you can understand that and apologize, we're going to need some space. He hangs up, leaving a tense silence in the kitchen. I need to file a complaint with the hospital. I say, if she tried to bribe my doctor, who knows what information she might have gotten. Mark nods. I'll go with you. We need to get to the bottom of this. The next day, we're sitting in the hospital administrator's office. The woman across from us looks serious. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I want to assure you that we take patient privacy very seriously. We'll conduct a full investigation into this matter. As we're leaving, Mark's phone rings. It's his dad. George, son, we need to talk. Can you and Sarah come over? When we arrive at Mark's childhood home, George looks tired and upset. I'm so sorry, both of you. I have something I need to show you. He leads us to his study and pulls out a box filled with papers. Your mother. This isn't the first time she's done something like this. I've been keeping track over the years. She's always had trouble respecting boundaries, especially when it comes to family. Mark looked stunned. Dad, Why didn't you ever say anything? George sighed. I thought I could manage her behavior, but after what happened at the shower, I realize I've been enabling her. It's time for this to stop. He handed us the box, and inside, we found letters, emails, and even legal documents detailing Linda's past manipulative behavior. There was an incident at your cousin Jenny's wedding, George explained. Linda tried to change the venue without telling anyone because she didn't like the original choice. And when your brother Tom was applying to colleges, she submitted applications in his name to schools he didn't want to attend. I felt a mix of vindication and sadness. George, thank you for showing us this. It helps to know we're not alone in dealing with her behavior. Mark put his arm around me, his voice determined. We're going to get through this, Sarah, together. And we're going to make sure our baby is protected from this kind of manipulation. After reviewing the evidence George gave us, Mark and I sat in our living room, trying to decide our next move. I can't believe it's come to this, but I think we need to take legal action, I said. Mark nodded, looking resolute. You're right, we need to protect our family. I'll call a lawyer first thing tomorrow. The next day, we met with Attorney Johnson in her office. Based on what you've told me, we have grounds for a restraining order and possibly charges for invasion of privacy and harassment, she said. What about the hospital? Shouldn't they be held accountable too? I asked. Let's start with the restraining order against Linda. We'll address the hospital situation separately. A week later, we received a call from the hospital administrator. Mrs. Johnson, we've completed our investigation. I'm deeply sorry to inform you that one of our nurses, under pressure from your mother-in-law, did leak some of your confidential information. I felt my blood boil. What's being done about this? The nurse has been terminated, and we're implementing stricter privacy protocols. We'd like to issue a formal apology and discuss compensation for this breach. After hanging up, I turned to Mark. Well, at least they're taking it seriously. Small consolation, he grumbled, but it's something. Weeks passed, and finally, we found ourselves in the courtroom. Linda sat at the defendant's table, looking defiant. The judge entered, and the proceedings began. Our lawyer presented the evidence, the fake sonogram expert, the attempted bribery, the leaked medical information, and George's documentation of past incidents. Linda's lawyer tried to paint her actions as those of an overzealous grandmother, but the judge wasn't buying it. Mrs. Linda Johnson, this court finds you guilty of harassment and invasion of privacy. You are hereby fined $10,000 and ordered to attend mandatory therapy sessions to address your controlling behavior, the judge declared. I squeezed Mark's hand as the judge continued. Furthermore, a restraining order is granted. You are to have no contact with Sarah and Mark Johnson unless they initiate it. As we left the courthouse, Mark turned to me, his eyes filled with remorse. Sarah, I'm so sorry. I should have stood up to her years ago. I promise, from now on, our family comes first, always. We're in this together. Mark, we'll get through it, I reassured him. Months passed, and the big day finally arrived. In the delivery room, with Mark by my side, our beautiful baby boy came into the world. As I held our son for the first time, I couldn't help but smile. He's perfect, Sarah, absolutely perfect, Mark whispered. George, holding his grandson, beamed with pride. He's got your eyes, Sarah, and Mark's nose, Emily added with a laugh. Surrounded by our friends and family, I looked at Mark and our son, feeling a deep sense of peace and strength. We had been through so much, but we emerged stronger, ready to protect our little family from any toxic influences. Now that our story has come to an end, I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you ever consider forgiving Linda and allowing her back into your child's life? Or do you believe that some actions are truly unforgivable when it comes to protecting your family? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and opinions matter and might help others facing similar situations. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue sharing these real-life dramas.